Alrighty, hey you guys, this is Ken.the.don here. I have with me the top industry leader, Miss Bunmi Moore. Thanks for joining me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are looking. Thanks for joining on. We are talking about the discussion today of getting people and young people knowledgeable on credit and fixing their credit, keeping their credit good, understanding the different tools and tactics and wisdom to live a debt-free life. Okay, you guys, it's possible to do it at a young age. And I have one of the top industry leaders, Miss Bunmi Moore, with me. She is one of my mentors. Because of her, I actually created Young Money Muggles, you guys. So if you believe it or not, we sat down and we were talking and such. And she said, listen, what can we do? So we sat down, we partnered, we talked, and this was birth. So I'm really excited to have her on with me. Thank you, Ms. Bunmi, for coming on. How are you feeling today?
Man, I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I love talking about money, how money works, and I love talking to young people about it because I'm like, man, you got so much time. Time is on your side to be able to take these principles and use them and create the life you want to live. So thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming on. So we're just gonna go ahead and get straight to it. So we had a conversation about how young people now are basically saying, "Oh, we're not being taught this in school." Okay, so how can we get this? Okay, so like, what can we learn? What can we do? Like, what can you say to the young people now to get their hearts and their minds sprung and ready for credit, debt resolution, whatever the case may be?
Well, let me tell you, my I have 5 children from 29 down to 19. In fact, she'll be 20 next month. And so one of the topics that they always bring out now that they're really starting to really do life, everybody in their 20s now. One of the topics is, "Oh my God, they didn't teach us this in school. They didn't teach us about budgeting. They didn't teach us about having our credit in order. They didn't teach us about, rules of wealth and how to win the money game." And so reality is hitting them square in the face, as I'm sure it is a lot of people in your audience. And they're like, wait a minute. My kids are like, this system is messed up. And they feel that it's so unfair, right? And whether you think it's unfair or not, like one of my kids are looking for cars, and she's like, wait a minute, I'm looking for a car. And now looking for a car is kind of making my credit score go down, but I need the credit score to be up for to get the best interest rate. And so they're seeing a lot of the realities of living in America, and they're like, dang, this ain't right. But here's the thing, whether it's right or not, we have to kind of abide by these rules and know how to play this game and still play to win. So that's kind of where we are now. And it's like, okay, now that you know this is how the credit system works, well, how do you kind of work the system so that you can have that 700 or 800 score, so you can get a car, so you're not paying 23 and 24%. I'm telling you guys, when your parents tell you, if you happen to be 18 and watch this or whatever, and your parents are telling you protect your credit and they're giving you tips and techniques, don't feel like, oh man, I'm so young, this don't apply to me. Because 6 years will come quickly. You 24, you trying to do something with money, all of a sudden you done messed up your credit, or your credit is not established yet. And now you can't get that car you want, or you can get it, but now you're paying 24%. So now you're paying $600 a month for a car you should be paying $300 a month for. You would have wished that you had learned these things when you were 18 and started establishing and applying what your parents taught you, right? I see somebody saying, tell it. I mean, it's the truth. It's reality. I'm living it here, every day. I've lived it, and now my kids are in their 20s are going for it. Hold on, let me just say this before I swing it back to you. Like, it's like the system in America is broke and it's sick. But we're here. It's still one of the best countries in the world to live in, kind of. And so we just got to learn how to play this money game. It's a game, y'all. And the powers that be, really, they want to hold you down. But you got to learn how to play this game and rise above all those powers that want to keep you in debt, that want to keep you broke, that want to keep you from accumulating wealth, and say, look, that's not going to be my story. I'm going to create the money story that I want for my life. So that's why I'm glad, Kenyon, you're bringing this out to people.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, like you said, it's important to understand the game. When you understand that game and you begin to allow it to work for you, like you said, we understand it's corrupt. We understand there's certain things that's not right. Like, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but even the federal bureau, it says right on there, your money is not real. So like we're already starting from a standpoint of just dysfunction right there. So it's like when you understand the money game and you understand how to flow and how to function, and you understand having a home-based business is so beneficial for you, and just being a part of NWR and just learning different tools and tactics, it's really just been helping me to stand and become more stable. It's been almost 3 years now for me. So it's like, it's just to work in the process of it and understand that your credit is essential. Like you said, it being 24, 25 and stuff. Well, now I was like, what, 23 or 22 then. So I was like, dang, I wish I knew these things. So now that I'm learning these things, I'm trying to make sure that people younger than me know it, so that when they're 24 and then 25, they don't have to run into those problems. They don't have to have those roadblocks of, oh, I can't get this because my credit isn't there, or I haven't established credit. So like you said, it's important we really know the money game and we play to win.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I agree with you 100%. Here's one of the challenges that I've seen. Like when people are 18 or younger, they're so into having fun and the music and the whatever else young people are into. They may believe it's important, but they haven't had the realities of life to hit them to the point where they stop and say, wait a minute, let me take the actions. If this is important, let me actually take the actions so that I can start setting myself up. So when when 24, I can buy my first house, or I can get that low interest rate. So if you're watching this and you say, hey, yeah, I know credit is important. My mom always told me, okay, so what are you doing? Like, action is where the rubber meets the road. So what are you doing to establish that great credit? If you're in college and let's say you have student loans, or you used to be in college, have you actually gotten that deferment or forbearance so that maybe you can't pay it? So don't just like not pay, because you got to pay, or else it's going to go in your credit report. But maybe you need to sit down and get the forbearance or get the deferment so you don't have to pay. So, and also maybe your credit's already messed up. So then go ahead and start reestablishing credit by getting a secured credit card. So if you're turned down for credit cards, you can get a secured card where you take $300, send it in to the finance company. They'll give you a credit card with the same limit of the amount that you sent in. So strategies like this will help you. And like MWR, if you've already messed up your credit, that credit restoration piece, two of my kids have that right now. That credit restoration piece is huge. So you can have professionals who can work with you to help you to get off old, negative, obsolete, outdated, or erroneous information off of your file. And as those negative items come off, you know what happens? The credit score goes up. And a lot of times, Keon, people are like, when it's not pertinent. So like, if you don't need to buy a car right now, you don't need to buy a house right now, most people aren't trying to do anything about it. But all of a sudden, when they decide, I want to buy a car, oh my God, I need to get my credit in order. What do I need to do? The time to make hay is when the sun is shining. Guys, got what I'm saying? You make hay while the sun is shining. You don't wait until it starts to rain to try to hurry up and get done what you need to get done. So start doing these things now to get yourself in shape. So when 2, 3, 4 years down the road comes, I know the young people, like 4 years seems like so long. It's not. Believe me, it'll come quickly. When it comes, you will already be in place, and you can go in and you can get those low single digit types of rates for your credit for the money that you want to borrow.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's funny that you said what you said about, paying what needs to be paid, establishing that credit, going where you need to go. It's that's where it takes, because a lot of people, like you said, they wait for those rainy days instead of preparing. And right now we need to be in that state of where we are preparing and making sure that we're ready. We don't want to just play like we're ready, if that makes sense. Like where we're talking about it, we're doing this, I'm living this life, but are you saving? Are you paying off debt? Are you limiting that net worth of that negative where the debt is? So it's like we talked about those things last night, where it comes to your attitude and your mindset, and then for you to come on today and say set up your actions. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to make sure that our attitude and our mindset is ready to handle this wealth and to treat money right. And then once we treat this money right, we need to make sure that our actions are continuing to line up with what we're saying. And that's whether it's paying those debts, paying what needs to be paid, whether it's establishing that credit again, whatever you need to do, you need to get those actions together. I remember a long time ago, I don't know if you remember, you told me to look into Robert Kiyosaki. So I ended up, reading Rich Poor Dad and getting into a lot of his YouTube videos and things of that sort. So to deal with his stuff and understanding how times change, how money changes, when you get ahead of the game and you get ahead of that brunt, it becomes easier for you. And as a young person, to be able to, I'm not going to speak ahead and say that I'm ahead of the brunt, but to know certain things that I know now, and still realize that I'm only 25 and I know it. It's like it gives me more of a piece and an advantage to say, hey, with MWR, I have a track. I know when I will be debt free. They give you a note. Hey, this is when you will be out. If you continue to do this, that, the third. So it's like I have more of a piece because I know my future is secure, and that's where we have to get to. That's where we need to be.
Well, you're so right, and I applaud you for being that type of action taker. I mean, you're here doing these videos on different platforms, working to inspire other young people. So you are definitely ahead of the curve. And so as you say, you need to applaud yourself, because most of your peers, unfortunately, most people are going to hear this and they won't take action on it. And they'll applaud you, say, yeah, that's doing good, talk that talk. But how many of them are really going to come to you and say, can you help me get on the road? That's what I want to challenge you guys who are listening to this. I want to challenge you to inbox Kenyon, get in touch with him and say, man, show me what you gotten a hold of. Because when you're young, one of the things you have on your side is time. And what do I mean by that? Like, if you get started with these principles early, let's talk wealth accumulation, right? And I know everybody wants the money like right now, but there's something to be said for delayed gratification. So we have ways for you to make money right now, but then also you want to put something, plant some seeds for the future. Well, right now, being a young person, you don't need to put away a large amount of money each month to accumulate 6 and 7 figures over time. But just by waiting 5 years to get started, or 10 years, you literally would have to put in 10 times the amount every month than if you started it now. Literally, you could start now with $50 or wait 10 years and have to come up with $500 a month to get the same end result. So that's why we're saying, go ahead and start now. I mean, Kenyon has access to information that the banks and the wealthy have hidden from us for years. Like, there's a way that you can be your own bank. There's something called a private reserve account that MWR is introducing people to. Now, only 6% of the people in the US even have this. I have this book called What Would the Wealthy Do? And it talks about the strategies that the Rockefellers use. Well, MWR is teaching us average people that strategy. So I just set up, not only do I have that for myself, my daughter has a private reserve account, and I just had a consultation so I could get 2 of my grandkids a private reserve account as well. So we need this type of information, but not just information. As we said, we need this type of action and systems to help you get the results. So Kenyon's not just saying, oh, here's the information. He has the systems that will make the information real and actualized in your life.
Yes, ma'am. That's one thing I definitely did learn. Is like systems are very key for you, and they come into play. If it works, if you've seen it work, if it continues to work, why not follow the system? You know, and when you continue to follow that system and you grow and you continue to, like another thing I learned from you, once you continue to get that money and you're able to save, you can invest the difference. And when you start investing the difference, you can continue to grow from there. And you know, and that's where people need to get to, where you're, it's cool to save. It's good to save. But make sure you're investing that difference, whether it's paying off those debts, whether it's investing in your own business, your own home-based business, whatever it is, you know, make sure you're putting back out and allowing your money to work for you, because your money can work a whole lot better for you than you can yourself.
I love it. You hear him? Boy, dropping that knowledge. She said your money can work harder for you than you can yourself. And that's such a truth. Here's something else that he said. I bet you probably 75% of the people don't know the difference between saving and investing. Didn't you all tell the truth? Didn't you say, well, what's the difference? There is a difference. We don't have time to get into it all, but there's a difference between saving and investing. And investing your money is really going to work for you to make more money. If your savings in your bank account, you will never, ever get rich, wealthy, or even well off by saving in your bank account. You just won't do it, because there's even negative interest rates now. So meaning the bank, you have to pay the bank to save money in their account, which is crazy. Even if you could get 1%, which nobody's paying 1%, use the rule of 72. It takes 72 years for your money to double. So if you had $1,000 to put into your savings account in the bank, you can come back in 72 years if you were getting 1%, and you would have 2,000. But since your bank is probably paying you 0.25%, come back in 300 years, right? And it would double. So guys, like, wake up. We want you to become aware. The system that has impoverished you can never empower you. And he said again, the system that has impoverished us, be it your grandparents, your parents, whatever, can't empower you. So we've got to learn, how do we like break out of the system so we can learn and do what it is that the wealthy do. As you said, Robert Kiyosaki was teaching it. A lot of some other people are teaching it. But MWR, I love it, because you don't have to pay $1,000 for a seminar and $5,000 for a mentor. They're going to give you experts and mentors and informations and systems, all of this stuff that we get in credit restoration and debt elimination, financial advice on demand, credit rebuilding, like you said, the plan to get out of debt. You get all of this for like what, less than $2, like $2 and some and change a day. And y'all know y'all spending more than that. Some of y'all got Starbucks, buying the iced coffees and all of that, spending $5 a day at Starbucks, right? Dunkin' Donuts and all that. And we're talking about a way you just take a couple dollars, get into this information and the systems, the credit restoration, the debt elimination, the financial advisors, all of that. And there's a way for it to be free as well. So Brian House, who set up MWR, he did it with you in mind, meaning he wanted to make it easy to afford and the systems easy and simple to follow. And he wanted to put together a financial strategies company that can take you from where you are to where you want to be affordably, without you having to be an expert. He wanted to give us the experts, and he's done it here with this membership.
Yes, ma'am. Shout out to Mr. Brian House. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you. Yes. I remember just hearing him and talking, and I was just so inspired, you know, being a man of God as myself. It was just to hear another man trying to help others. And like you said, just making it so easy. It was just like, why not, you know? So yes, you guys, like we've said, all right, set up your actions, make sure that you're ready, know the game, and play the game to win. When you know the game and you play the game to win, You'll be able to come out on top. Obviously in games, sometimes you lose, but know the end game, know what you want at the end. And that's what matters. It's not going to always be perfect, but when you know that this is where my goal is, this is what I'm trying to achieve, that's what makes it even the more better. Because as you start seeing yourself get closer and closer, that's even more boost, more power, more strength for you. Pay what needs to be paid. I learned that, you guys. I think I posted it the other day. David Ramsey said, children do what feels good, but adults do what needs to be done. Or I feel, like they do what needs to be, they get it done. So we have to make sure that we're getting it done. It may not feel good all the time, but pay what you need to pay. I know, like I said, I have my date. If you work with MWR Financial, they have the services where the experts work for you. As you get plugged into things, I can help you get, where you need to go as far as the back office and understanding that such. But as you understand, you'll get your date, you'll know what to do next. You'll be able to, it's like a whole weight just lifted from you. All right, you guys. So plant for the future. That's something that Ms. Bunmi said that really just hit me. It stuck with me. Plant for the future. You guys, this is what this is about. Okay. We're planning for the future, making sure that, right now with the whole pandemic going on, I'm not going to really get too deep into that caveat, but this is the greatest wealth transfer of all time, you guys. This is the greatest time to step in. We have home-based businesses. We have everything right at your fingertips, you guys. So jump in, get on this wave. Don't just keep waiting for the what ifs and waiting for when you could do it. Now is the perfect time. Jump in, plant for your future. It's a seed. So obviously, as that seed sprouts and goes, like you said, 4 years from now, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I did all this in 4 years, and the crazy part about that, I can say that just from the proof of MWR for the past 2 years for myself, really being serious about it and plugging in. And now it's like, I'm starting to see the fruits of it. It's okay to start young. Remember that, you guys. It's okay to start young. Start now, and it's a whole lot better. So if you're out here and you hear me and you're 18, 17, start now. If you're even 24, 25 and you feel like you can't start anymore, you did whatever, let it go. Start over, okay? Starting over is never a bad thing. Now you have some lessons. Now you have some tools. Now you have some wisdom in your back pocket, and just don't make the same mistakes over again. So I believe that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you once again so much, Ms. Bunmi Moore. Is there anything else that you want to say or have anything left to say?
Well, again, I just want to give shout outs to you for this platform, just to be that voice to the young people to say, come on, y'all, let's go get it. Yes, you can create the life that you want to live. It's not just a cute saying or a quote. You really can, but school's not showing you the way. And we get some answers from church, some answers there. Most times your parents didn't know the way to really teach you. So you got to be proactive and go out and find the way. I think Robert Kiyosaki said, informal education. Well, a formal education helps you to make a living, but an informal education will help you to make a fortune. And that's what you want. You deserve to make a fortune. So it's things you would never learn in school, like what you're hearing here, like what Kenyon is introducing you to. So I'm challenging you to inbox him. I'm challenging you to call him if he gives out his number. I'm challenging you to message him like right now. Just don't let this go by and be a hearer of the word, not be a doer. Call him now and just talk, chop it up. You need more positive people in your life, people who are going great places. You can't fly like an eagle if you're hanging around with the turkeys. And believe me, he's an eagle, so connect with him. Thanks, Kenyon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, you guys. So the numbers posted down below. You can also hit me up on Instagram. Ken.the.don is what my name has been. So hit me up on there, you guys. Texting is always, more efficient. But I will answer a call. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining session 2 of Cerebro Academy. We will be back on at 2 p.m. with Miss Eartha Harris, talking about how it's important that even now that your mindset is right and things are ready, it's important to get in your community and not just think about yourselves. All right, you guys. So let's join back in again at 2 o'clock. All right. Thanks, you guys, for joining. Take care.